Hello YouTube, Eric here. I'm just going to do a little talk again. I'm going to show off some examples of what I call clean proteins and fats. Okay, food is my medicine of choice. I dropped completely out of allopathic medicine when it was clear that the lefties were going to ram this Obamacare through. And what I'd like to point out too is that, a little over 10 years ago, a lot of folks on the left knew that allopathic medicine was a near complete failure. But the script readers on the left that are no longer, well, they're maybe too afraid to speak freely, they won't say a thing about it anymore. Well, not in public. But, alright, here's the milk that I mix with these are all Wisconsin. Everything here is from Wisconsin. Buy local. I'm not telling you folks outside of Wisconsin to buy Wisconsin products. Buy what's clean and local, okay? Terra's Whey is one of the best ways around whey proteins. This is from Reedsburg, Wisconsin, I believe. Alright. I was not a real big fan of this Organic Valley brand. I stopped drinking it about 5 years ago and switched to a different organic milk that, well, I'll say this. Their regular organic milk is still fed GMO corn and soy and all that BS. But it's also what they call ultra-pasteurized, which is it's pasteurized at a higher temperature. And a lot of folks say it's damaging the proteins, and I was actually getting sick off this stuff, even though it was organic milk. Maybe it was the soy that was doing it, maybe it was the high-temp pasteurization, I don't know. But this is not a raw milk. I still need to find a source for that. Here in Wisconsin, raw milk was now legalized by Governor Scott Walker and the Republicans. The former Democrat governor vetoed our raw milk bill. But unfortunately, it's not outright legalized. They can't sell it in a store. In order to buy raw milk, you have to buy direct from a farmer. Unfortunately, and I haven't worked out a deal on that yet. So this is still pasteurized milk, but it's grain-free. And when they say grain-free, I know everybody doesn't really understand what grain means. Grain, for the most part, is genetically modified soy and corn. And when I say soy, I mean estrogen-raising soy. Okay? And then the corn today is bred for sugar content because it's bred to be made into ethanol production for fuels. Okay? And then that leftover silage from that genetically modified corn is fed to livestock. That's why these eggs are from Waniwak, Wisconsin. Been eating these eggs for 3 or 4 years now. And they say soy-free. Even your organic eggs that are on the market are still fed shit soy and corn products, okay? A lot of that might be genetically modified as well. Here's the name of that farm. And here's that Organic Valley butter again. This is good butter, but I think this butter is about 50 cents a pound less. This is from my local butcher shop, the Conscious Carnivore. This is Wisconsin made, soy-free, no grain-fed. And, okay, so this is the same stuff. It's whatever, it's pasture-raised, everything. But this, I'll tell you this. This butter smells and tastes, but I mean just the smell. The smell is 4 times as strong as this. This butter smells so strong, it almost smells like fake butter. It's so good. It's I don't know. Even this organic butter is not even close to it. This is from the Conscious Carnivore in Madison. And, okay, let's talk about the coffee. This Cafe Fair, I've been drinking this stuff for 14 years now. This was the first certified organic coffee in the nation, okay? It's also pretty inexpensive. At Woodman's here in Madison, it's I think it's about $9 a pound still. It's basically the cheapest organic coffee you can get. Now, it might not be the best, but it's good. And my favorite one is the light roast Guatemalan, by the way. And I hand grind that every day, brew it in a press. And they say that the light roast actually has higher caffeine content. I used to always drink the dark roast, espresso, and French roast, but I think it was about 8 or 9 years ago I switched to this the light roast, and I can't drink the other stuff anymore. And that's where the butter comes in. It's only been a few months now, but a few months ago I tried putting butter in my coffee, and I can't take my coffee without grass-fed butter anymore. It is that good. I'm doing a little bit of the intermittent fasting too, where I don't ever eat breakfast. Very limited carbs, but zero sugars or carbs or anything until noon. And still very limited carbs. Just my calories are all from fats, and you know what I call clean fats are my medicine of choice. Now we'll talk about what I'm cooking in. This is my vintage Griswold. This is not one of the real old ones. I picked this one up at a thrift store a month ago for $12.50. And I seasoned it in the... Oh, why isn't my jar of beef tallow here? I had a jar of beef tallow I was going to show you guys too. Because when I take my whole grass milk mixed with my whey protein, and I also mix kelp for iodine in that, I take a tablespoon or two of straight up beef tallow right from the jar, just boom, big scoop of it, and just eat it for more fats. Because I feel that too much protein with too little fat is not good. I mean, the human brain is basically made of fat, and the body cannot even make testosterone without cholesterol. That's from the research I've done, and then I mentioned that to a friend that is an actual pharmacist, gone to 8 or 10 years of college to become a pharmacist. She doesn't always agree with me on a lot of stuff, but I mentioned that last year while camping, and her words right away were, that is very true. The human body cannot make testosterone without cholesterol, and your brain is made of fat. Alright, so I showed that Griswold. This is my 12-inch Griswold. That one I showed you was a 10-inch. This Griswold was the skillet that my great-grandmother cooked breakfast every day for my grandfather. So this is old school. I got a little picture here I'd show you too. My grandfather. He's a little boy there. This photo is circa 1922, I think. 23. And this is him learning bush cooking with some old family members. Bush cooking in the 20s. I think it's my great-grandfather who's behind the camera here. But I'm uncertain of all that. I didn't get this photo until after his funeral. But anyways, I guess I kind of effed up there and forgot to show you guys the beef tallow that I take. But that was supposed to be here in this shot. Anyways, eat well, people. You are what you eat. And animals are what they eat too. We cannot build healthy livestock for meats out of shitty genetically modified Monsanto grains, okay? And when people think that this milk is expensive, it is. This is a half gallon. This is $5.70, $5.70. So you're talking, this milk is $12 a gallon or more. And at one store that was carrying it, they were charging, I think, $8 a half gallon. And so now people might be like, well, that's just ridiculous. That's the red pill, people, okay? The other milk that you buy at the store, that's the reason why it's fed that genetically modified soy and corn is because that's the lowest cost proteins on the market. Why is it the lowest cost proteins on the market? Because it's subsidized by big government with your tax dollars. And I'm taking a stand against that shit. I'm trying to gain weight right now, but food is so expensive, I can barely gain weight. But I'm definitely moving in the right direction. You know, 3-4 years ago I used to have a 34-inch waist. And I'm down to 32 is loose with my Glock 26 inside my pants. So I probably have about a 31-inch waist or so. And now I'm not real big and strong or anything, but my shoulders are stronger and bigger than they were 3 years ago. So it's definitely a step in the right direction. Smaller waist, larger shoulders, completely flat abs. These are very slow improvements, but I'm slowly moving in the right direction. And any goal, I believe any goal, any reasonable goal can be achieved. One test to determine if that goal is reasonable is, can you say it out loud? Because some folks set goals that, well, if it's not if you can't say it out loud, it may not be a reasonable goal. Anyways, be well, people. Remember, you are what you eat. Be healthy, be safe. And, another thing I want to point out, too, this whole socialized medicine, Obamacare, affordable health care, I'm getting a $700 tax penalty this year because I no longer participate in allopathic, poison-based medicine, okay? I only deal with chiropractic, acupuncture, massage therapy. I used to see osteopaths here in Madison. We've got some really good osteopaths, but the only things that they were doing for me were what the chiropractors and the acupuncturists were doing. And I'll say this, that my last primary care physician was an osteopath, and she was so shocked with the results I had when I gave up soy and then wheat that she ended up doing the same thing because I had such great results. That's a doctor, okay? I say go for it, people. And don't worry about you can get bullied for changing your diet. In fact, one day on the river, a year and a half ago now, it would have been fall, September, October of 2014, I believe. I'm on the Wisconsin River breaking camp. I don't listen to Rush Limbaugh too often, but I had his program on. His program was on while I was taking down my tent and stuff, and he said something amazing. He said, you want to expose the herd mentality, the two crabs in a bucket mentality of the people around you? He says, change your diet for the better and watch how people react. They will bully you for not eating the same shit foods as them. It's pretty sick, actually. But when I heard Rush Limbaugh say that, I was shocked. I was like, whoa, Rush Limbaugh is the same guy that makes fun of people who won't drink fluoride, which I've got 2 Berkey water purifiers with the fluoride and arsenic removing cartridges. I don't drink the Kool-Aid anymore. Terrible what fluoride does to the thyroid. Google those 2 terms once. Fluoride and thyroid. Just see what comes up. Okay, wishing everybody the best of health. I'm trying to uplift everybody to uplift myself. Take care.